She thought she'd finally trapped me. Red and blue lights washed over my living room, flickering across the walls while the cops stood there stiff and cold. Waiting for me to explain myself, my sister held her belly, her fourth child still, growing inside her, and spun her story like she always did, smooth, rehearsed, deadly convincing. What she didn't realize was that I'd already thought this through 10 moves ahead. I raised her first 3 kids, not because I dreamed of it, but because she was too busy chasing men who swore they'd stay, and only left her with hangovers and pregnancies. I was 17 the first time I held her son. 17, still a kid myself, while she vanished into clubs night after night. She used to cry and tell me, "You're the only one I can rely on." And I believed her. I carried her mess, her guilt, and her children as if they were my own. But trust is fragile, and once it breaks, the damage cuts deep. It started quietly. She stopped calling me as much but told people I was mooching off her. She hinted to neighbors that I wasn't stable, dropping just enough doubt to make them wonder. Then one night I overheard her laughing on the phone, laughing about how stupid I was for raising her kids. That hurt enough. But the real blow came when I discovered she'd been draining my bank account. Money I'd earned working double shifts, gone. She forged my signature like it meant nothing. She didn't just steal my savings, she stole years of my life. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just stopped holding her up. When she announced she was pregnant again, expecting me to step in like always, I smiled a tight, icy smile, packed my bag, and walked out. The look on her face wasn't fear. It was pure rage that her servant had dared to leave. So when the police showed up weeks later, claiming she said I'd abandoned her kids and robbed her, I was ready. People like my sister thrive on chaos, but chaos built on lies always leaves a trail. While she spent her time crying to boyfriends and neighbors, I gathered proof: bank records, forged checks, texts, voice recordings, where she admitted everything. I saved every insult, every manipulation, every theft. I also had something else on my side: witnesses, teachers, doctors, even the landlord had seen her disappear for days while I signed school forms, paid rent, and bought groceries. I had been the responsible one, the cover for her life. My last move was quiet but decisive. I reported everything to Child Protective Services. The cops listened to her first, of course. She shook, cried, played the role of the desperate mother perfectly. When it was my turn, I stayed calm and laid everything out piece by piece. The evidence spoke louder than I ever could. I watched the officers' expressions change as suspicion turned into silence. Then CPS walked in. Right on cue, the moment they said they needed to check on the kids, her mask shattered. She screamed, called me a traitor, swore I'd pay for this, but it didn't matter. For the first time, I wasn't her savior or her scapegoat. I was free. As they took her away, and her children clung to me instead of her, it hit me. She hadn't just lost protection, she'd lost control. I didn't feel sorry, I felt lighter. Because this wasn't about revenge, it was about taking my life back. When the officer asked if I wanted to add anything, I met my sister's eyes and said calmly, "I never abandoned them, you did, and now everyone knows."